Malcolm, welcome. Say hi to the fans in Mexico. That
Hey, fans in Mexico. How's it going?
yeah, they are all in love with your bartender experience in Obsession. So, Malcolm, congratulations on Obsession. Your performance as the bartender has already become one of the most talked about performances of the year. What
Yeah,
has it been like carrying the weight of an entire film on your shoulders?
it's been pretty surreal, Juan Pablo, and thank you again for having me on. It's been pretty surreal carrying the weight of such a big movie. I mean, when I don't know if you've seen any previous interviews of mine discussing my involvement, but there's actually quite a story to get me involved. Like Curry Barker is my good friend. I've done sketch comedy with him for years, and he reaches out and he says, Malcolm, I'm making this movie and we need you. I need you as the bartender.
Yeah, I also heard
But
that you actually accepted a lower salary. Can you tell me a little
yeah,
bit about that?
yeah. So there was this funny miscommunication where he's like, I asked him, I was like, okay, you got a gig for me. I'll see if I can fit it into my very busy schedule.
Yeah.
What's the budget? He goes $750,000. I'm like, okay,
Mhm.
well, these days I don't take gigs for under a million, but for you, Curry, a good friend, I will take a pay cut. And he goes, no, 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 no. That's the budget for the whole movie. I
Oh,
said,
really?
what? What? Get out. And that was my first reaction was like, no way. I'm not
Yeah.
doing this. But then I thought about it and I'm like, I am a really gracious and humble guy and I am a loyal friend and Curry's my good friend. So I'm like, you know what, for you, Curry, I'll take a pay cut from seven figures to three figures. So I ended up doing the role for just three figures, and that's what made it click. And now here we are. Now what started off as a little indie movie, it's now they're talking about Oscar consideration
Yeah.
for me, which
Yeah.
is insane. It's
We'll
insane.
get that in a minute about the that
Yeah,
Oscar theme, yeah. But can you take us back of the day that you filmed your scene? What was that day on set for you? What was something about that experience that audiences will never know by just watching the movie?
yeah. So I mean, people, fans, moviegoers, casuals, and diehards alike, they see the final product, but not the work that goes into it, right? So it's like you see me as a bartender behind the counter. I'm shaking up drinks,
Yeah.
I'm pouring shots, I'm taking people's credit cards. And you see the ease and effortlessness of that, and you think, oh, that's easy. What you don't realize is that I did maybe like 6 or 7 minutes of
Oh, yeah.
watching YouTube videos about how to be a bartender because I've never been one on the drive over to set. So like it was hands free. I wasn't holding my phone and driving, but I
Ah,
had
okay,
my
yeah.
phone mounted on the vent of my
Mhm.
car. I've got a hands free mount, and I was playing YouTube videos. I'm okay, yeah,
Multitasking, yeah, really.
yes, yeah, but I was focused on the road. But
Yeah, yeah.
but also I was like, okay, that's how you pour shots. You don't do them separately. You line them up and then you do them in a line like that without having to raise the bottle. So it's like little things like that. People don't understand the tireless work that goes into it. And yeah, I watched at least two, maybe three YouTube videos in the car um, right before I got there.
Yeah, so you're really like a method acting, no? A
Oh
method
yeah,
actor.
yeah, I immersed myself in the character. I got on set, and that's another. I'm not used to these like small indie sets. It was truly a small. We were shooting at a real bar
Yeah,
in Los Angeles. Here, I'm used to huge, multi-million dollar, hundreds of million
of
dollar
course.
sets, right? So we get into this little. I'm like, this is a film set. I walk in there. I'm like, I'm kind of above this. But I walk in there and they're like, "Oh, hey, are you Malcolm?" And I was already in character. And I'm like, "Who's Malcolm? I'm bartender, and I will be
Yeah.
addressed as such." And they're like, "Oh, sorry, bartender. Yes, right this way." And yeah, it was. But yeah, full method, full method. I immersed myself in the role.
Can you tell us a little bit more about your character? I heard that you say something like the thing of your clothes, that you were shaking up the scenes, and maybe that the indie character and your character had been involved in some way before.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'll take it one by one there. So yeah, the metaphors you mentioned
Yeah.
were endless with my character. When I was shaking that tumbler, when I was blurry, out of focus in the background, like how my background is now, when that was me back there, when I was shaking up the tumbler, that was a metaphor that Curry put in, that things were about to get shaken up,
Oh
right?
yeah.
So I wasn't just shaking the tumbler, I was shaking up the vibes, and I was shaking up the plot of what was going to happen. And sure enough, right after that scene, I won't spoil, but right after the scene, things get very shaken up in that car
Really?
ride home. You know, when Bear
That's true.
drives Nikki home, things get shaken up, to say the least. So that was one of the metaphors. And then, like, the opener closed, I had two lines, which you think is not a lot of lines, but they were packed with meaning. When I said opener closed to Nikki, people thought I was asking about the bar tab, which I was, but I was also asking, are we open or are we closed? Me and you, Nikki, because bartender and Nikki had a very extensive, passionate relationship.
Okay.
Really, they were really just high octane lovers. And bartender ultimately dumped her because he wanted to pursue his career as a bartender and he didn't have time for her anymore. But there's this rich backstory. And then, so when he's saying open or closed, he's not just talking about the bar tab. He's saying to Nikki, are we open or are we closed here? Like, are you open to re-exploring things with me? Even though I dumped you, are you reopen to re-exploring, or are we closed? Is this a done deal? And you know, there's a reason that they come to that trivia weekly, because she likes seeing the bartender and vice versa.
Oh,
So it's like, these are the details that usually it takes you a few viewings. You don't catch it on the first viewing because the movie is packed with metaphors like this. Curry's a great writer, and it's hard to fit all his little foreshadowings and metaphors and Easter eggs all into one viewing.
there has
Yeah.
been a lot of conversation online about your performance and even awards recognition. When you
Mm-hmm.
hear your name mentioned alongside something like maybe the Oscars, what goes through your mind?
Oh man, yeah, it's an honor. It's a big honor. I'll preface everything I'm about to say by saying it's an honor, without a doubt. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, this is what this is right. This feels right. This is what I deserve. I should be here. I belong here. And so yeah, it's flattering, certainly, but I should be there. And there are rumors that there's a conspiracy against me and that I'm not going to get nominated. And I mean, apparently Focus Features is going to be pushing a very aggressive awards campaign for me at the Oscars. So I hope it works. If it doesn't, though, I think that will confirm what a lot of people suspect, is that the Oscars are corrupt and
Yeah.
rigged. And it's not about art. It's not about true art, because if it was, I would win. But maybe I will win. So I'll hold
Yeah,
off
we
on.
don't want to jinx it, but let's say
Yeah, we don't,
hypothetically.
exactly. We don't want to jinx it. So
Yeah,
but you know, I'm a humble guy. It's like, I don't need I don't need a trophy to feel validated. Like, I'm very zen. I'm not about earthly things like that. That's not why I do acting, for the accolades or the money. I don't need that. So it's like, if you want to give me an Oscar, sure. If not, who cares? You know, I don't need that. It's above me.
yeah,
Or I'm above it.
the art is first, no?
Art is first, always. Always art first.
But let's say hypothetically, you're standing on stage accepting the Oscar.
Yeah.
What will your speech start with? Who gets thanked first? Your family, Cory Barker, the cast, or
Mm.
everyone who ordered a drink from your bar?
Yeah. Man, yeah, I haven't written out my speech yet. I should probably get going.
Yeah, you're running out of time, man.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, if I want to put some thought into it. Yeah, I haven't thought about that yet. I mean, I would probably there would probably be a lot of thank yous involved from Curry to me. So I would say, you're welcome, Curry. You're
Yeah,
welcome for making your film possible, making your little art project possible here. You're welcome for taking the pay cut. You're welcome to the cast for allowing you to learn from me. You're welcome, Indy, Michael, Megan, Cooper, for being able to see me do my thing and shine, and not only learn from me, but allow me to give you the spotlight. And because that's the other thing, it's like I had 2 lines and they were both off screen. Curry wanted a huge role for me, but I'm like, no, I'm gonna sit more in the scenery on this one. So you're welcome, Curry. You're welcome to all the crew, who's getting attention now and building their careers. So it wouldn't be a lot of thank yous in my Oscar speech. It would be a lot of you're welcomes, because I would be saying you're welcome to all the people who have me to thank for Obsession's success. So I don't think I would thank anyone necessarily, but there would be a lot of you're welcomes.
Now I want to talk about your vision in comedy. Before Obsession, a big part of your career has been comedy and stand-up. What do you think makes someone funny? Is comedy something you can learn, or is it more the way you see the world?
That's true. I think it's a combination. I think it's a combination of nature and nurture. I think some people are born with an innate sense of humor and maybe start at a different level than others. I, of course, being one of them, I was born with
That gift.
with the pinnacle of I'm maxed out. I'm maxed out on my, and it's not really humor for me. It's more like my genius, because you have to be very intelligent to do comedy, right? I really was born on third base, as they say, with the advantages I was given in comedy because of how smart and a genius I am. But also, you can, even if you weren't born with the genetic gifts that I was with my brain, you can nurture your abilities through study and through focus on the craft. And so that's what I would say to people who, maybe comedy doesn't come as naturally to them as it does for me. You can still get there through work ethic. It might take you a little longer than it does for me. You might have to work a little harder, but you can get there. And that's what I like about comedy. And I can see a lot of people right now. I can see some of my haters out there. They'll say like, well, Malcolm, you have all these like stand-up clips on Instagram where you're saying these jokes and like there's dead silence in the audience and no one's laughing. And so like, are you really that funny at all? I don't know if you've seen these clips, Juan Pablo, that I'm mentioning, but yeah, in many of these clips, there's dead silence after the punchlines. And again, that's not because I'm not funny. It's because I am too smart for the audience to understand. And because audiences are like baseline intelligence. And that's a tough thing about comedy, is you have to be relatable to audience. And when you're as smart as me, it's tough for me to relate to the audiences sometimes because they're not as smart as me. So it's difficult for me to dumb down my material to reach the tastes of an average viewer. But sorry, that was a little long-winded, but that's just an explanation why the stand-up clips you see on my Instagram have little to no laughter. It's because I'm too smart for the audience and they're too stupid for me.
Yeah, sometimes they need like a little bit more time, like a joke that kicks later.
Right. It's one of those ones, a thinker, as they say in the business. It's like, they realize on their drive home, they're like, all of a sudden they'll burst into laughter and be like, oh, I just got Malcolm's joke from an hour ago.
Yeah, I didn't should post like, hey, Malcolm, I'm sorry, I didn't get the joke at first.
Yeah, I get a lot of messages like that. A lot of messages being like, wow, I just thought about your show from a month ago and I didn't understand that joke until now because it took me that long to get up to your level of genius. So
my question is a little bit going through there is people that see comedians as people that who are naturally funny all the time, but there's a lot of discipline behind it. What is something people misunderstand about being a comedian?
Yeah, people need to understand that it's not all fun and games. There's a lot of discipline involved. Like you said, you have to sit down and You have to write, you have to think, you have to, like me, it's like my process. I go out in the world and I'll just sit down at a park with my notebook and I'll look at all these people and I'm just like, wow, look at all these people, you know? And then I'll start just jotting down notes about what I see, because that's how my mind works. I just kind of like take in stuff I see in the world. I just have such an eye for observation, and I just like, and that's another tough thing about being a comedian, is that like most people, normies as I call them, normal people,
Mhm.
who aren't as like smart or talented as me, they're able to just go through their daily life and just turn their brain off. Be like, oh, let me watch TV or let me go out to the bar. And it's like, I can't do that because I'm always like observing and watching, because I have such a keen eye for observation. And I've got my notebook with me everywhere I go. And so I'm always like taking notes. And people are like, Malcolm, let's hang out. Can you just put your notebook away? And I'm like, no, I can't. I always have to be observing. And that's the catch 22 about being a comedian. It's fun, but I'm always observing and studying. And the grind never stops when you're as genius as I am.
Yeah, one day you're making a stand-up show, and the other you're saving your friend's movie, no?
Yeah. Yeah, it's the same thing that goes into both. Whether I'm making people laugh on their way home after my stand-up show, or I'm, like you said, saving my friend's movie, because that movie doesn't happen if I'm not in it. I'm just going to come out and say it. I'm not going to say I deserve an Oscar. That's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
for me to decide. But Obsession does not make $400 million if I'm not the bartender, and I will die on that hill.
Yeah, it's really a key scene for. I don't want to make also
Yeah,
spoilers, but everything happens in the bar.
yeah. Things get shaken up. Like I said,
Yeah.
things get very shaken up.
Something I find fascinating in is that Obsession comes from Cory Barker, your friend, who has also a background in comedy.
It does.
And we also see in filmmakers like Jordan Peele transition from comedy into horror. Why do
Mhm.
you think people who understand comedy can sometimes create such an effective horror? Do you think comedy and horror are actually closer than people realize?
I do. I do. I think it's a lot of the same. A lot of the same beats. It's like building tension and then a release. So in comedy, it's set up punchline. In horror, it's building tension through a scare and then the payoff of the scare. So it's a lot of similar beats. And Curry actually, people think that Curry, oh, it's just a natural transition for him from comedy to horror. But I actually, he consulted me quite a bit on his script for Obsession. He's like, Malcolm, he's like, you're such a talented writer. Like, how can I make this script scary? I only know comedy, but you're so smart that you know comedy and horror. How can I make this script scary? So I actually, gave him a lot of pointers for Obsession. I was basically the ghostwriter of Obsession. I don't want to take credit away from
Yeah, yeah.
Curry. He's the one who actually, put
The
pen to paper,
key, yeah, yeah.
yeah, press the keys. But I gave him, I think, ideas for, I think, the whole movie. I think the whole movie was my idea. I don't want credit for that.
You're
I
really
don't want
humble for
credit for
that.
that.
I really,
Yeah. I just want to be humble and help a friend. So it's just me. That was me helping a friend.
thank you
And
for the premise of that
yeah,
information.
of course. And yeah, I don't want anything in return. I don't want residuals. Yeah, the movie's made $400 million. I'm good with the three figures I made. I don't need more, even though I had the lead role and the whole thing was my idea.
Yeah, I think that the real message of this movie is friendship, no?
Yeah. My friendship with Curry made this movie happen.
Let's get a little bit deeper in your character, because Curry had mentioned his interest in expanding the world of Obsession into a
Mm,
series,
yeah.
where each episode could explore a different wish and the unexpected consequence that come with it. If the bartender had his own episode, what do you think your character would wish for? And knowing the world of Obsession, how do you think that wish would end up going terribly wrong?
That's a great question. Well, it depends on timeline, because people, a lot of commenters on my social media they've been clamoring for asking me the same thing. They're like, what would the bartender's wish be? What will the bartender's wish be? And it depends on if it's going to be done as a prequel or as a sequel to Obsession. There's been a lot of interest in a prequel because they felt that the bartender's character in Obsession wasn't sufficiently explored, and they would like to see the past relationship with Nikki. They would like to see what led him to taking a job at that bar and being the best bartender of all time. There's a lot of speculation that the bartender already used his wish to be the best bartender of all time. Or maybe that just came naturally to him. So these are open-ended questions that Curry didn't answer in the film. So I think those could be explored with a prequel or sequel. Now, a lot of people are clamoring for a sequel where Nikki is, well, I don't want to spoil what happened, if she's dead or alive or what happens to her. But basically, they want to see, I won't spoil, so I won't talk about how it relates to Nikki, but I will say that they want the bartender to come back and to break someone out of jail. I won't say who that person is.
Oh, yeah.
But the bartender they want to make, because the bartender in Obsession 1 was a red herring.
Yeah.
Like, he's there behind the bar. He's this ominous figure dressed in all black, shaking things up.
Like the Watcher in Marvel, watching everything.
Yeah, with that watchful eye, that evil eye. You know, you don't know what he's doing back there. It was set up as a red herring by Curry because the whole time you think the villain is going to be the bartender, but he never even comes back after the second scene. So genius writing by Curry, setting up that red herring, by the way. Not enough people are talking about that. But that will no longer be a red herring if Obsession 2 happens. When Obsession 2 happens, bartender will come back. And yeah, it's tough to say what his wish would be or if he's already used it. I mean, these are things that I'm in high-level discussions right now with Blumhouse and with Universal. And yeah, we're talking about how we can develop this bartender character. But it's going to be a very interesting thing. And I'm gonna break the news on this podcast.
Oh yeah,
Juan Pablo, that Obsession 2 is happening. There's a deal in place. Curry will be writing and directing, and I will be starring as the main character. What's not public knowledge yet is that whether it's going to be a prequel or sequel. My 2 cents in these high-level meetings I'm fighting hard for a prequel because I think that would be really interesting.
Yeah, well, let's see the story of the bartender.
Exactly, because I think that needs to be fleshed out. But we'll see. It might be a sequel, and I'd be okay with that. And we'll see if bartender has already used his wish to become the best bartender of all time, or if he hasn't used it yet, and there's going to be some sort of like Prison Break, Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah. Fast and Furious 7.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Thank you, Malcolm. We're going to pass to some dynamics that me and the audience prepare for you.
Okay.
Malcolm, one of the biggest themes of obsession is when the love crosses the line into obsession. So we're going to give you some situations, and you tell us, is this healthy or is this obsession?
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
First one, your partner gets mad because you kiss your homies goodnight.
I would say that is, with the options are obsession or what's the other one?
Healthy.
Healthy. Totally healthy. Or no, it's healthy to kiss the homies goodnight.
Okay.
Obsession to have a problem with it.
Yeah, because it's not gay, it's friendship.
Yeah, exactly. There's right. And there's even a sketch on That's a Bad Idea about
I love
this.
that sketch.
With me and Curry. Yeah, there's
the secret handshake. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, there's nothing weird about having a secret handshake where you make out with your other heterosexual male friend. Nothing weird about that.
Yeah, it'll be weird if you didn't do that.
Exactly.
You have to be a lot of confidence, and it's true friendship. You don't kiss your homie.
That's right.
It's not a true friend.
Exactly.
The next one, your partner makes you swallow an AirTag so they always know your location.
I would say that's healthy too. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's maybe they're concerned for your safety. And if you're missing one night, then they can come find you. If you're not returning texts, they can come find you. So to make sure you're safe.
Of course, healthy. Your partner remembers your favorite food and surprises you with it.
That sounds a little obsessed to me. I think
Okay.
it's my girlfriend is sometimes she's like wanting me to. She's like, oh, what's my favorite food? She wants me to do that. She wants me to like remember her favorite food or like take her out to dinner to her favorite restaurants. I'm like, stop being obsessed with me.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think that behavior is total obsession. I don't have time to know what your favorite meal is, you know?
Because you are observing every time.
Exactly.
You're observing.
I've got my notebook right now. I'm busy, you know?
I had to put the details. Your birthday,
Right.
No dates, only details.
Exactly. And I'm writing some notes about you that I'm going to put in my next stand-up set if you're not careful. So
Yeah. Your partner creates a fake account to see who you are following.
that I think is very healthy. I don't do that with romantic relationships. I do that with my friends, you know, with the homies.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, we haven't like kissed goodnight in a while. What's going on?
Yeah.
I might have to make a fake account and like see why you've been too busy to hang out. You know, so I think that's healthy.
Your partner sends you 47 good morning texts because you didn't answer the first one.
I think that is healthy as well. Sometimes I will do that too. Again, it's about safety, whether it's about like sneaking an AirTag in their sandwich or sending 47 good morning texts. Like, I just want to make sure that my partner is safe. And so I think that's totally healthy.
Your partner says, I trust you completely because I installed cameras everywhere.
That is, again, very healthy. I have installed cameras at, for example, my girlfriend's house. No, we don't live together. The cameras are there, not at my place because I don't need them. I don't want them. That's very intrusive. I don't need cameras in my place.
Yeah.
I installed them at her place just to make sure that she's safe and nothing bad is happening to her with any threats. So I think that's totally healthy.
Now for the next and final dynamic, one of the biggest inspiration behind obsession is the monkey's paw, where every wish you comes with an expected of often terrible consequence. So we ask some of the fans to send us wishes they made, and your job is to ruin them. Ready?
Yep.
The first one says, I wish I could fly.
Yeah, and then you would get hit by a plane and die.
Okay. I wish I was a billionaire.
I don't know if you've read the news lately, but there's billionaires are not exactly the most liked people right now. So you better hire some security.
I wish I had a time machine.
Yeah, and then you could go back in time and alter something that would ruin the whole course of humanity. No good answer for that one.
No worries. I wish everyone liked me.
You seen Obsession?
That's what I said.
Yeah, are you sure you want everyone to like you? Probably not. Be careful what and who you wish for.
This is the final wish. I wish I was the funniest person alive.
That's my wish, and I already used it. So.
Sorry, Pau.
Yeah.
Malcolm, thank you so much for playing along. Seriously, congratulations on Obsession. A lot of fun talking to you, and we can wait for everyone to see the movie and, of course, the spin off of your character. And remember, if that Oscar speech ever happens, I was here first.
I appreciate that so much, man. And I will, you rest assured, if and when I give that Oscar speech, there will be a thank you from you to me. Like I said, I will
You're
be
welcome.
acknowledging your thanks. Yes, I will be
Yeah,
giving you you're welcome from stage. And thank you to all the fans of the podcast who have watched. Appreciate your support, all the messages and nice comments and DMs I've been getting. And to the viewers of Obsession, thanks for watching my incredible performance. And stay tuned for The Bartender from Obsession. That's the name of
oh, yeah.
the show, and coming out either next year or 2028. So stay tuned.